Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at the1916company.com for purchase pricing and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we are discussing a 28-piece limited edition from Franck Muller, a brand we don't often discuss on the channel, but today, it's Moment in the Sun, and this is the Franck Muller Classic Round Skeleton Swiss Edition, a rose gold 28-piece limited series featuring an extravagantly skeletonized manual wind 7-day power reserve proprietary movement. It is also elaborately gem set in rose gold. The watch is 42 millimeters in diameter. You can see it's 11.6 millimeters thick, 48.2 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a 22 millimeter spacing in between the lugs. Well, red and white, that's fairly self-explanatory. Those are Swiss colors. Throw it on the wrist and you can see it's also quite flat. This is one of the great advantages of this watch. In spite of having twin stacked mainspring barrels and a long power reserve, nevertheless, it's only 11.6 millimeters thick with sloped bezel. It would easily slide under a cuff. Now it's fairly broad from lug to lug, though it's not huge. At 48.2 millimeters lug to lug, I'm going to recommend this watch for a wrist of my size or larger, so 16 centimeters circumference and up. Of course, the strap will break in and soften up, so it won't constrict the wrist quite as much. But you can see that the watch features a very substantial strap, and part of the reason it is so stiff initially is because we are talking large, rectangular, symmetrical scale alligator leather. A very good and very exclusive cut of the animal. It costs money to get scales like this. You can see that it is bright red with a little bit of gloss and a distressed grain. The distressed grain is particularly attractive. You can see we have curved spring bars so that the strap has a full range of motion. It's very close hauled to the case and the lugs are drilled close to the case. If you look, you can see that the screws are purely ornamental. It's actually fixed by spring bars that are quite a bit closer to the case than the screws in the lugs. But because of the curve of the spring bar that's used, we have full range of motion. On the bottom, you can see calfskin. There's a little bit of wear, but it is a Franck Muller factory strap in very good condition. Taking a look at the buckle. Like the watch, it is rose gold and it is gem set. And it is beautifully gem set. You could see the girdles for the diamonds shaped by hand and then fixed by heat the old-fashioned way. Gem setting is still a very manual trade, and you can see all of these little gold-fixed, manually positioned, brilliant cut white diamonds. You could see them on the case band where they're double stacked. You could see them on the crown where they're paired with a ruby. You could see them on the bezel where they are large, and you will find quite a few of them. There are 246 diamonds on this watch, and that amounts to 4.19 carats, and it's deeply impressive stuff. The Swiss edition is not to be sneezed at. You can also see that the case band is quite handsome. We have these lugs that are sharply broken out from the case band, with the flange of the case back and the bezel sort of defining the mid case, which is gem set. It's almost a little bit of a anachronistic feature, a bit archaic to have lateral hall marking on the lugs, but it's like a 1990s throwback, and that might be intentional given that Franck Muller as a brand was sort of in its prime and enjoyed its halcyon days back in the 1990s. This is a watch, however, that makes an argument for respecting the brand as it is today. So what we've got here is something very different than the average Franck Muller. It is both more than another ETA or SOPROD movement, and somewhat different than the company's self-proclaimed status as the master of complications. Now, you're probably often disappointed by the fact that I don't feature a lot of Franck Muller on the channel, and people often ask me what I think of such and such Casablanca or Master Banker, and my answer is always, it is exactly what it appears to be. It's a basic watch powered by a purchased movement, usually an ETA, Solita, or SOPROD. Buy it if you like the way it looks. Don't buy it if you're looking for something exceptionally refined or complicated. That word again. But if you get a Franck Muller that has a unique and distinctive manufacture movement, now we talked about the heyday of the brand being the 1990s. Well, this is a bit of a throwback to the days when Franck himself was still involved creating the mechanisms personally. And while he didn't create this movement, I think you're going to find that this FM 1740 RS is incredibly compelling. Let's start with the headline. It's fully skeletonized. And not only is it fully skeletonized, but you can see the standard of beveling is gorgeous. It's broad, it's mirrored. We have many sharp interior angles, and while there are processes in existence for automating some of these inner angles. The fact is they are as neat and attractive as you'll find anywhere, including on skeleton efforts from Audemars Piguet, Gerard Perregaux, and many others who are revered for this kind of effect, the full skeletonized movement. So it looks very attractive, and there are a lot of interior crevices, polished bevels. You could see that the keyless works and the motion works both beautifully decorated. We have satination on the steel parts. We have beveling on the sides of the steel parts, and you can see we even have inward angles on sharp confines of those steel components. And that I'm less likely to believe was done by any kind of an automated process. In fact, my guess is that like many Patek Philippe, Vacheron, and Lange movements, this is a judicious blend of automated process and then dedicated hand finishing. So this is quite clearly a handmade movement that is to the highest standard of what we would today describe as the Holy Trinity plus Lange. So look at the case back and look at those bevels. Look at how round they are. Look at the sharp interior angles. We've got 4 of them flanking the center wheel alone. That's deeply impressive. You can also see a brushed surfacing over what remains of the bridges and the plates. We also have blackened screws, which is a nice effect because it causes them to sort of disappear. KIF shock protection is uncommon, but it's something we've come to expect on a lot of high-end brands. Rolex used it for many years, as did Jaeger-LeCoultre, and so when you see that, it's a mark of distinction. Not necessarily more functional than in Kablock, just lower volume, something you expect to see on a lower production watch. And of course, you can see that we've got these red lacquered hands at center with the white chapter ring outboard and the red lacquered hands. They remind you this is, in fact, the Swiss edition. It's 30 meters water resistant, so you're not going to go swimming with it. Look carefully, and you can see we have a small running seconds hand down at 6 o'clock. We have a balance using an escapement of Franck Muller's own design, and it's beaten away at 2.5 hertz, 18,000 vibrations per hour. What appears to be a single mainspring is actually 2 barrels that are stacked on top of each other. So you can see around back we've got 1 mainspring, and then stacked atop it on the other side we have the second mainspring, and it has a 7-day stated power reserve, which is deeply impressive and much appreciated. All of this pivots on 21 joules. And the 7-day movement is suitably sized for this large watch. So it is 33.4 millimeters in diameter. And I really have to say that, again, Audemars Piguet, Gerard Perregaux, Louis Moinet, better than Jaeger-LeCoultre. I would even say better than your average AP. This is really on par with like a Royal Oak skeleton or open-worked double balance. It's very impressive, and it is deeply appealing. The gems might be a bit more polarizing, but if you want something different, this is definitely one direction you could go. A timepiece that has a lot of individuality, and this is a 28-piece edition. This is number 3, which is a cool serial number to own, and a lovely piece that's probably going to ensure you have the only one of its kind in any company. Reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.